Okay.
That's why we stopped and we switched to you guys.
Yep. So that whole thing took like a week at most. That's fast. There's probably a couple extra days in there of like explaining to the citizens of the path askew what's going on. We'll probably resume with
with counting the
there's
dead.
still stuff in path askew.
Yeah, it'll take you about a month to reorganize Path Askew before you can leave.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go back since we're talking about
Plenty
the
of time.
Yeah. So just say when we're back.
And we're back.
Hello.
Greetings.
So the path askew has been retaken, but that is only the first step on our journey to defeat Bryansk once and for all. Take it over.
Yeah, Bryansk is a bad place. This is why you don't let 12-year-olds have the key to government.
This is why stewardship exists, people.
Yeah. I'm assuming that Edwin doesn't know about that pass that they took to get around the other city-state.
Oh, the one to the south?
Right. The Gora Pass. I assume Edwin does not know about that. Because that would have been a significant shortcut to get it to the ruins, anyhow. I assume this road is it doesn't actually go to the pass. Like maybe it's some footpath to the pass, and then this is the main road that feeds.
Or that pass is just treacherous as shit.
It could be.
Yeah.
You know.
Maybe there are bandits along it, and for a group of 4 people, it was way too dangerous to go through.
Because I remember, when we were talking about getting back to the Path Askew from the ruins, we were like, well, we actually don't want to go by land because we have to go right through what is now Zavrogor.
Well, another option is that boats are so much faster that it would probably just still be faster just because of that.
Yeah.
Than walking.
But it wasn't even an option to go to Zavrogor. And so we didn't know about the Gora Pass. So I assume that the Gora Pass is something that we didn't want to do.
It could also be that you didn't want to go into Bryansk territory because you would have had to pass right next to them.
Right.
Yeah, if there were soldiers coming, that's where they would have been coming from. Okay.
But yeah,
all right.
Switching over to our resident researcher.
Mm-hmm.
Into the sea.
Your boat docks on some island somewhere, and you and the rest of the researchers spend a couple days traversing a road, and then head off of the road into a large forested area, and eventually you come to. It looks like it might have been a large building at some point, but fell into disrepair. It's kind of out in the middle of nowhere. You're not sure even why it would have existed. But once you get inside, you realize that they have converted this old stone structure into a secluded meeting place with a large library.
Okay.
So it's like an old collapsed building of some sort?
It's an old stone structure. Looking at it, it might have been a fort at one point. You're not quite sure.
All right. I mean, I guess the boat, is it on the shore? So we just dock into this fort, or is it
no, you spent a couple days. Yeah, you spent a couple days traveling from where the boat docked. You went through a small village and then out into the woods.
So it's a fairly sizable island.
Yeah, it would seem.
Cool. Oh yeah, my character doesn't. I assume you can't see the fort from the shore, so yeah, I'm following everybody and trying to get to know I have these researcher guys, and they don't seem to be the guys in charge, really. So I'm trying to like figure out who is actually leading us to the fort.
Yeah, in your traveling party, yeah, you got all your researchers, everybody that was in the belly of the ship with you is going along. But leading the party is some of that's the security forces that were on the boat.
Okay. And you said they had like a distinctive uniform with some symbols on it.
No, these guys don't. That was the mercenaries. These guys
Okay.
are fairly nondescript. If you were to see them like just in any old city somewhere, you'd figure they were like caravan guards or something.
All right, but they clearly like they know their way around this island.
Oh yeah.
Or does
they
it
know
seem
where they're
like they're
going.
referring to map like Matron did?
Yeah,
Which one is it?
they pretty much know where they're going.
Okay, so
one of them does have a map, but
they don't need
it's
it.
more of a just in case thing.
Okay, interesting.
But yeah, you're led inside. Have you been talking to any of the people you're with, or
Yeah, like
or anything like that?
I imagine like we have this like intense study session, and then like we have a little breaks every so often, and then at the end like we talk about the research and like things connected to it, so let our minds wind down. And so far, like Edwin's been really focused on the research. Like he wants to have some kind of result before he starts pushing on the people. Like right now, it's a really stressful situation. If you like try and distract them, their ability to work is going to diminish.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, Edwin is like all business until he gets to the fort and gets to work on the new project.
All right. So yeah, when you get inside, you notice it's a similar setup to the to what the ship had, but a much more vast collection of knowledge.
Okay. So Edwin, he's got all this like information about the symbology, and that hasn't worked out. And he figures like maybe if he can just figure out how to make the artifact do something destructive, that would be enough of a step in the right direction. Like once he gets the artifact to start reacting, he can cross-reference what it does and see if like there's rituals and stuff that might have been like actual artifact use that's become legend. So he's going to take his group and he's going to explain like this new idea that he wants to know, anything that the library has about using artifacts, and then they're going to try all that stuff on the artifact without hopefully destroying the island.
Okay. I don't know what this island is. Fuck it.
Fuck this island.
Okay.
Sure. So yeah, you're gonna have to help from your researchers on whatever role you're gonna roll.
I'm gonna use research. Should I still fork in symbology and sorcery wise?
Sorcery wise, yeah. Symbology. I mean, I guess it's a bigger library, so you could potentially run across something.
I assume like some of the books would like have symbols associated with artifacts, right? Like
it's possible.
It depends on what kind of symbology you have in this world. We talked a lot about like there's a lot of Mayan influence, and Mayans are like pretty big on using ideographic language, which is a lot of symbols. And a lot of
Yeah,
those
and
symbols
you
could have
said
been refined over time into
you said you were going to be like poking and prodding this thing, correct?
right.
Like you're going to try to provoke a reaction from it.
Yep.
So yeah, go ahead and fork symbology.
Okay, so sorcery wise, symbology, ancient history and obscure history.
Sure.
Okay. And I assume like a lot of these things might be in foreign or ancient languages.
Ancient languages, yeah.
Okay.
Everything here has been translated to the common tongue.
Really? That's interesting. Is the interpreter on staff?
You're not sure. Some of these things are pretty old. It seems like it might have come from someone's collection.
I definitely ask, like, who did all this translation?
Yeah, they tell you that it comes from all over the place, but when they get a new book in, they have their scribes translate it to the most common language. That way, that way the most amount of people can pull information.
Are these scribes here?
No.
Okay.
That's a different part of the operation.
All right. So let's see. It's 5, 6, 7.
It's mostly subcontracted out to the Scribes Guild. It's a whole mess.
There's a Scribes Guild, huh? Okay.
They're unionized. It's it's a whole mess.
Okay. What obs would you like?
5. Ob 5.
Come on. Bam! I even hit 8 this time.
Nice.
What were you?
Oh,
you were
why did I
rolling
roll
research,
staff?
right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be research. So actually,
what is your research?
It's 3.
Okay, so it's the same roll functionally,
and it's also gray, so it would be 9 successes, not 5, not 8.
Holy shit! All right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so yeah, you
I'll spend a fate if you let me make it. Like the higher you roll, the better the result.
Sure.
All right. Oh, I only have 1 6. You know, never mind. I again only rolled 1 6. You're supposed to declare that before you start.
The fate? No, you can do that after. It's persona.
No, I mean, if you're doing it carefully or if you're doing it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, quickly works after because you spend successes.
You could declare working quickly and get
there's no way to declare that beforehand.
Faster.
Really? Okay. I guess these extra 3 successes would do nothing otherwise. So yeah, let's say we do it faster.
Okay. So yeah, in a remarkably quick amount of time, you figure out that this artifact, it's not complete. It's only a piece. There are instances that you find in your research that when an artifact like this is incomplete, a lot of times it will try to guide itself and its wielder to the other piece.
Yeah, it wants to be complete.
You also figure out that the body of Kildan, it's pretty damn powerful. It's got a lot of power in it, but you can't really figure out any focus or control mechanism in it. So if it was activated right now, it could go critical.
Super critical.
So basically what I have now, I could make it do something, but it'd be suicidal.
Yeah, well, you haven't figured out how to provoke that reaction yet.
Okay, I haven't actually figured out.
So we're clear on that. No. But if you did, it's liable to start an unstoppable chain reaction inside of this artifact.
Yeah, it would destroy the artifact, you're saying.
And potentially, 100 square miles around it.
Right.
Yep.
So we discover this information. We're like, Like, whoa, maybe we shouldn't like be agitating this artifact so much to do something. We're going to lose the artifact. We're going to lose everything we've accomplished up to this point. And so we have a party.
Yeah, your researchers are, whereas before they were hovering over it and looking down at it,
Right.
they're now admiring it from a very respectful distance.
Huh.
But we have a party. The party is a lot like you'd imagine from like the Greek myths, with like, the kind where Aristotle and Socrates and Plato and all those guys would get drunk and talk about really weighty things. Are there any girls there?
Yeah, there are a couple female researchers.
Nice.
And also, this island for some reason is entirely populated by hula girls. No one knows why.
They don't understand our weighty and important dialogues, but well, maybe they'll surprise us. But yeah, we have some good times. Then we're try and figure out where the other pieces of the artifact are.
Yeah, the other thing you're noticing, since are you handling the artifact now?
Edwin
now that you know that it
basically always handles the artifact, and he'll continue to.
Okay. Yeah, the pulling direction is pulling in a different direction now. It's more northerly from where you are.
Do I
rather
even
than
know
to the
where
east where it was before? No, but you can tell that this thing, the pull on it has shifted into a different direction.
Okay.
Like, since you've been handling it, it feels like it's been pulling on a central point, and you've been going around it, like this.
Totally
okay, we've been going around it. But this is since we got to the small island.
It's been as you're traveling, you've noticed it's shifting.
Yeah, like a compass almost like.
So once I asked the guy to circumnavigate Cadenfell, I started noticing that it was pointing in the center.
Well, they circumnavigated Cadenfell a little bit, and it still felt like it was pointing east, right. And then you went to this other island.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to figure out, because,
it's not Cadenfell.
I don't know if you know how, astronomy works, but for a long time they thought that all the planets, traveled on ellipses. That's probably neither here nor there. Okay. But yeah, the direction has changed, and it's changed since we got to this new island. Or before we got to this new island.
Yeah, it was changing the entire time. Basically, if you had a compass and you started walking around the North Pole, like magnetic north, like where exactly it is, you'd notice the compass kept pointing north, even though you were walking in a circle around north.
All right, my character doesn't have any mathematics skills. But could he get someone to do trigonometry and try and guess how far away it is?
I think orienteering might help that. I'm not sure.
I don't have that either.
Yeah, it sounds like orienteering.
You don't have it?
Nope.
Okay.
I bet who does is those mysterious wardens.
They may.
So I'll go and try and talk to one of them. I'll ask, who is their leader.
Okay, yeah, you're talking to them a bit. They seem like normal guys, just guards.
I tell them, in order to know where we go next, we kind of have to know where we are now.
Yeah, they tell you that information is privileged.
I explained that if we don't know where we go next, we may end up following this thing all the way to the continents. If we are going to go in that direction, we should be prepared.
No, they tell you that they're not going to take you to the continent because that would be tantamount to suicide for some of them.
Like, I understand that. This is why we need to know. Like, we may get pretty close. We need to know how far we have to go.
All right. Well, you're probably going to have to persuade them in some way.
Okay. I don't have persuade.
But what do you have?
I have philosophy and falsehood, and neither of those are that good.
Could use if you have one of them.
Hmm?
You could use those. Well, falsehood even more so. You could just lie to them about something.
Like,
want to believe you.
I think it's an exaggeration that we'd end up on the continent, but it's not an outright lie. Like, that could happen.
Yeah, but what lie? Like, if you're using falsehood, well, then what lie do you tell them that makes them want to tell you anyways?
Right. It's not a big enough lie that we're going to end up on the continent. So, yeah, I'll just tell them...
What lie? What do you say?
Well, I told them what I already said. And then that doesn't seem to have swayed them. And I'm not going to succeed on a falsehood roll because it's one die.
Oh.
Yeah. So...
Wait, didn't your will go up? Or is it... I thought it was...
My will is 3, but I have to roll falsehood against their will as an obs. And their will is probably 4. And I can get 4 obs on one die.
Okay. Wouldn't your die raise to 2, though? Or does it not increase?
No, when your stats increase, it does not increase your stats. Your skills.
The skills that are based on the stats. Okay. Now I know.
Anyway, it would have to increase to 4 before newly opened skills would open at 2.
It's up to you. If you make a falsehood test, then you'll immediately get it up, I think, if it's a 1, won't you?
Well, it sounds like whatever you're going to do, it's going to be an op 4 because it's social. So either open up persuasion or take a test in falsehood.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to
don't convince them
to tell me where they are. We are.
Alright, so just take the test and let it ride.
Yeah. Hope for a fail forward. Yeah.
Okay. It's basically it.
All right, let's try persuasion. What odds would you like?
Yeah, it's their will, so it's 4.
Yeah.
So your intent is to persuade them to tell you where you are, or
yeah,
like what? Okay. So yeah, you come at them, nicely, trying to figure out, where you are, so you can figure out where the frick this thing is pointing.
Right.
And they say, we really can't, it goes against what we've been told to let anybody in this building know where we are right now. It's operational security.
Okay.
And they're like, but, you're talking to someone that's sort of on the ball. He's like, but we will be moving again.
Okay.
Once we're clear of here, we can give you some points that we've been at in the sea, and you might be able to triangulate from that.
Like, sure, like if you can just have somebody that knows where we've been at those points, but I don't actually have the skills to figure out where we need to go.
Yeah, the guy comes and says, if you write down like the directions of where this thing is pointing as we travel, we can bring that to someone that does the navigation, and they can figure this out for you.
Okay, great. Excellent. So through this discussion, I could have used oratory. Whatever. So through this discussion, do I like get a feeling of who the leader is?
You get the feeling that the leader is still back on the boat.
Okay, great.
These guys are grunts that apparently stick to what they're told,
All right.
and that's that.
Well, I invite them to our party with the Kulik girls.
All right. So yeah, champagne and bitches all around.
Hey, man.
Congratulations.
Yep.
Party time. Okay, so I guess however long we spend waiting for the boat to be ready to go to the next leg of our journey, I'm gonna be like engaging these guys with my philosophy skill, and I'm gonna try and figure out like what the general philosophy of the organization is. Is it, as it seems to be, like these people are just like a scattered group of resources they've drawn from other islands, or do they all like share some united philosophy that's driving them to work for the organization?
I'm trying to
Two
just,
287.
yeah, I'm looking. I'm trying to figure out like what the ob would be if he's just going to roll philosophy on determining someone else's philosophy. I guess it would be ob 3.
Yeah, divining the original meaning of
Because
symbols
that's
originated from a particular school of thought.
yeah, and
Okay.
instead of symbols, it's divining the original meaning of people's school of thought.
Right. Can I get them to help me in this role of understanding their own philosophy?
I almost want to say that would be like a linked persuade.
Oh, okay. Can I use oratory to make the link persuade?
I guess if you're like at this party, if you're mingling with everybody,
Right.
and yeah, probably.
Okay.
So yeah,
So let's see here. We got
you're trying to
oratory.
be friends with
So
everybody.
what do you do? What do you orate to the whole party?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Do you like get like tap your champagne glass and like make a toast or something?
I think it's like more like kind of like I'm thinking of like how Socrates would have been in the forums. Like he's surrounded by his fellow philosophers, and
Mhm.
you know he like gets up and he like poses them this difficult question. Like we could say it's like the question of you're a turtle on the beach. You see a turtle on a beach, and you flip it over. Why do you do that? And Edwin like launches into this like philosophical idea of like you do it because the turtle is just an animal and it belongs to you, because he has this deep belief that any evil in the world, it doesn't matter who or what you are. Like, well, everything you have belongs to the people who are good. And then he just sees where like this discussion takes him.
So you like basically start a philosophical discussion and then see what other people do.
Yeah, like I'm like engaging them and like arguing their points and drawing on their own knowledge.
Okay.
Seems more like rhetoric.
I am happy with.
I think that was just the
too.
beginning. That was what you started. He started with. That was
Not
if Chip
as
sat with me-
well.
What
I think it's actually rhetoric with an oratory fork.
That's even better
and
for
philosophy
me.
for it, if you have philosophy.
I do.
Yeah, rhetoric. Works.
Oops, I hit the wrong button. Okay. Hit cancel.
And
So
it'll be
I'm
ob
forking.
3 because we're doing an
Okay.
average of the wills.
Come on! Ooh.
Made it.
Nice.
Oh, that's weird.
Nice.
One of the dice is
It's
like
just totally cocked.
way between 5 and 6. Yeah.
That does
Pretty
happen.
dice done.
All right.
All right, so your intent with that was to divine the inner workings of your coworkers.
Well, you said that I would
Basically,
make a link test to get them to help me understand their philosophy. But if you're going to let me skip it, the link test, and just have my original intent, I'm happy with that too.
Well, you forked philosophy into that, correct or no?
Yes.
Then yeah, we'll just call that the test.
All right.
So yeah, you end up figuring out that most of these people are good-natured people. They believe that what they're doing is necessary because the looming threat of the continent is a real thing. Some of them have reservations about uncovering and weaponizing things that could potentially destroy the world. But there's a couple others that believe that the ends justify the means, and that the only way to since it's sort of known that the continent has these things already, the only way to safeguard their people is to have them as well.
What do they want to do with them? I ask. Once we have them.
They want a hostile peace. They want to have these things to ensure that the other side never uses them.
So they don't intend to use them either?
That
okay.
would be most of it. Yeah, most of them, yes, would never want to see these things used at all.
All right. So at this point, like Edwin would drop his facade and ask straight out, like, is this representative of the organization? Like, when you guys have had interactions with the higher ups, like, do they seem to share these ideas?
Most of them tell you that was like the recruiting pitch, basically.
The recruiting pitch.
These are the tenets of the organization itself. Like,
okay.
we're not out to hurt anybody. We're just out to safeguard our own people.
Okay. Everybody is pretty happy with these answers, but still, this is a recruiting pitch. This isn't the sustained investigation of the organization and its membership and its goals. But at least Edwin definitely now feels that he can trust the people he's working with.
Hey.
Trying to think of what I'm going to do next. This is a lot of information to process.
I think we might just have time to do bits and end of session stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then it'll be exactly 8. So I think let's end it with that. The organization,
so,
the people of them.
Let's get an in-character answer for the organization. Okay. Why did the organization flip the turtle on its back?
A common answer was probably a common answer was so the wolves didn't get it.
Good answer.
All right, bits talk. How do we do
Yes.
this again? It's been so long, even though it hasn't been so long.
Someone goes first, then everyone's quiet until somebody says they're going to do it.
I'll go next. Yeah. Well, I'll go first,
Okay.
and then
Well,
you guys
or
can
we could
decide
just do
who's-
it all together and just say like,
Yeah, let's just all
We'll
talk.
just
at the
talk
same time.
over
Yeah.
each other.
Well,
That's
no,
a really
like-
novel way.
everyone check their beliefs, see if any
Yeah.
belief they think counts.
Okay.
Let's try that out. Beliefs. I believe that I completed my first belief. You can't truly know someone until you fought with them or against them, and I believe that I consider this to be fighting with Matrim, especially, like, I've probably met Matrim in battle after we charged into the city. So yeah, I think I fought alongside him in this, is my opinion. And so, what I now think I know about Matrim, we'll see with my following belief.
Yeah, well, I don't know if that has been completely done. It seems like we might have had some sort of exchange, like in the aftermath of the battle,
Definitely.
that we haven't quite done yet.
Yes, fate that, and you can probably persona it within the first hour of the next session.
My argument would be that when I meet Matrim next, in the next scene, I feel that I know him better and I address him differently, which would be the start of my follow-up belief, rather than the end of this one.
So just from him doing what he did,
Him actually act, like, properly...
Because
like,
we
leading
were
his
actually,
troops, 'cause
like...
I was considering him to be, like, some sort of, like, worthless rogue, but he actually was very effective.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean by, like, now I think I know him
Right.
better. And that was the whole belief goal.
Yeah. Well, I
So
just know, like, because, like, our tests and everything were separate, right? Like, I went on the completely other side of town to do all of it, so it's a very loose together.
I still consider that we fought alongside each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. I'll make
I
it.
mean, that was between you two, so you guys can duke that one out. I mean, does Ernest now respect Matrim?
grudgingly.
Would he admit that to Matrim?
Probably not. He's like, damn, he's actually good. Why couldn't he actually be terrible at his job? That's what he's more like. Yeah, so we'll see more of that next session. I think I got a persona. Sorry, I think I got a fate for. I have fully recovered from my affliction. I will prove it by successfully leading these soldiers to victory against Bryansk. Because we haven't have victory against Bryansk. We've just taken back one city. So
Yeah, but you tagged it. So
So I think that's a fate.
if you want to resolve that with a persona, though, it's kind of hard to highlight the fact that you're just healthy enough to do it. But if you can find a way.
Well, for I think it's more of sort of a self-resolve for him. If he can do this, to him, it means that he's back in action. That he is, in his mind, he's completely cured of the sickness. Yeah, we'll need some way. Like, I'll probably need to, like, the way this will probably work would be that I use the sickly trait to get myself in trouble and then overcome that trouble.
Okay.
Might be a thing.
So if there's a forced march or something, that might be an issue for you.
I considered actually asking for that, but yeah. So I think it's just fate for now. I think he specifically wants to, like, topple Bryansk with that. And then my third belief hasn't yet come into play, where it's about the Duchess herself.
Okay.
My fourth belief hasn't come into play yet. It will come into play early next session. So, just one persona and one fate.
Okay. Next.
All right. So I think I only really pursued one belief. The conspiracy is a group of brigands and thieves. It must be rooted out of the islands. So I must investigate them so I can determine if their intent is honorable. I think I have determined that the rank and file of the organization have an honorable intent, but I'm still trying to get a deeds point out of this. You guys said you wanted to investigate Edwin's reasons for not trusting the organization more. Do you want me to continue to investigate those reasons?
I don't really see where
what
this
you
is
said.
going for a deeds.
Yeah, getting a deeds out of that might be.
From this seems very difficult.
We're kind of like moving away from the whole fight against the organization, and the whole.
I wasn't sure. I didn't know there was a fight against them.
Well, the whole
No, I
fight
don't think it was
against bringing the artifact to the organization, like that's not a thing anymore.
True.
I mean, that was originally like bringing the artifact to the organization and helping them use it is against Edwin's beliefs, and those beliefs have maybe they haven't harmed him as much as I thought, but I feel like they've like drastically changed the political station on his island, which is going to like reduce his ability to act independently.
Which isn't really
it's like
touched on in the belief per se.
It's
though.
eroding.
But I mean that's totally a personable belief. I will give you that.
Yeah.
But I don't see outside of some major things happening. I don't see a deeds point coming of it easily at all.
No.
Right. So the
Also, do we all get a persona for accomplishing like a party goal of taking back the city? I don't know.
What was that? The party goal?
What was it?
I don't think we had anything explicitly stated.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything about the party goal. I mean, if it was, then sure, but I didn't.
Yeah, I didn't participate in
let's
that
go with no.
at all.
Yeah. Did you have anything else, Golden, or?
Well, I would like to, like, in our discussion on the Google Doc, I'd like to talk more about how we're going to award deed points.
Oh, okay. Well, should I go through my stuff real quick?
I think I hit the triggers. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I was just asking if you were done with your Artha.
Yeah, that's the only one I think that I get.
Okay.
Like, everything's going great for Edwin.
Okay. I think I might have touched upon two of my beliefs.
Okay.
The first and the third one. So these mobile organization hubs speak highly of the money involved. If I successfully help this mission in Bryansk, I can work my way closer to the source.
Yeah, totally fadeable.
Fadeable? Okay. And then the third one, which... Oh, go for it.
It might... See, I don't know where you want to break up acts of a session versus acts of a mission. Like,
right.
If you don't do anything that really helps the mission in Bryansk next time, but the mission is completed in Bryansk, do you still get a persona because you helped last time? Like,
right.
That's...
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't see you not helping next time. Like, it's going to happen. You're going to help.
I think there's a similar issue with the next one I'm going to talk about. Being in the group back on my longboat reminds me of my last crew and the good days. I will ensure it doesn't meet the same end by helping my crew when in a tough spot. And so the tough spot was the guy on horseback.
Oh yeah, the scouts.
Right, and so I helped with the ship and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my argument for that belief.
And this one isn't quantified by the mission in Bryansk. It's you ensure it doesn't meet the same end. went in a tough spot. You had a tough spot. You ensured that it didn't go poorly. That's Persona, in my opinion.
I agree.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So after we're done the whole session, we'll talk about beads after.
Yeah.
And I don't
might want
think
to put it on screen next week because it's probably one of those things we haven't talked about yet to the audience, and it's not super well understood. So for those wondering, there are actually 3 types of Artha.
Yeah.
One is called deeds.
Yeah.
It's very, very rare.
Yeah. I don't think
Alright,
any
so-
of my traits or instincts triggered, so
Okay. Yeah, your predatory didn't end up causing too much trouble.
no, we didn't do enough of the aftermath for me to like start looting or pillaging.
That's true. All right, so any humor, right skill, right time, embodiment, mold breaker, any of that stuff? People feel like any of that happened?
Sith's piloting skill did avert a major catastrophe.
That's true.
Yeah, for having a skill to make the story go.
Yeah,
Like
I
if
think that without that, we
if
might
he
not.
hadn't had that skill right there, like the whole story would have went. Well,
Because
now
if he didn't have that skill, he couldn't have helped. They wouldn't have gotten the dice.
now
They
we're
wouldn't
going
have
to
just made
run
the
out of
roll.
armies, and
Yeah.
now what do we do?
So
I think
in
so.
sort of a domino effect, I think that the first domino that would have fallen that didn't, that would have led to our demise would be Sith and his piloting skill.
Okay. So
But
yeah,
that was okay.
that's a fake
'Cause-
for right skill, right time.
Even if it's just
Yeah,
one
if you
die,
didn't have that,
it was one die.
and the thing
made
is,
the roll.
And on that,
which
you
means
met
the
the Yob. So yeah, if you hadn't
Yeah.
have helped with that, it would have
Exactly.
gone very poorly.
Okay.
And I think that about does it for Artha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think anyone did the mold breaker or embodiment, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it with
I
my
don't
funny
think so.
voices for embodiment, but I don't know. I don't get Artha, so
right.
The voices are
Yeah.
great. People in chat were saying they were great.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
They're
enjoyed
quite
it.
good. Okay. I think we might be done.
I think
Yeah.
we are.
So tune
right
in
on
next
time
week
too. Look at
for
that.
the conquering of Bryansk, and we'll also
Okay.
probably have some stuff to say about how to roll. How probably by then have figured out how deeds points are earned.
Yeah, I mean that's
Yep.
not something that we have to worry about on screen, but like
Yeah,
it
but
is
we'll
my
probably wanna talk
goal
about
as a
it,
player to get
towards
some
the
of those
audience.
D points. So
Yeah.
I would like us to like hammer it out. Like, what's the criteria?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll figure it out off screen.
Yeah,
With that.
And we don't even have to do it
All right.
tonight if you guys are tired. Like, we have a lot
We'll
of stuff
probably
to
do a
talk
doc.
about.
Let's just put it on the Google Docs.
Yeah.
That works.
Yeah. All right. Well, tune in next week for another exciting episode of The Burning Wheel.
Awesome.